Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. What a mad, weird Sunday it's been. Who would have thought that Tottenham Hotspur would be able to get 3 points against Manchester City despite being at home and despite the fact that Man City have not been able to score at Tottenham's ground for the last 5 games, if I'm not sure. I think it's the last 5 home games at Spurs that City have not been able to score at, which is crazy when you think about it, because Spurs are normally the king of bottling a result, and Man City are normally that team where when they don't play well, they still somehow towards the end get a goal or two and get either a point or get 3 points. We've seen examples of that prior, and I thought today that would be the scenario. Spurs got the goal very, very early. And I was thinking, they're going to throw it away. And then when Romero gets sent off, I'm thinking, that's happening. It's minute 86, right? Minute 86. You know what? Minute 86, we're going to see Tottenham concede very shortly. And then we're going to probably see Man City score a winner. It didn't happen. And I have to say, fair play to Tottenham. Defended very, very well after scoring the goal, Harry Kane's 200th. So, with all due circumstances in effect, congratulations, Harry Kane, I have to say. Even as a Chelsea fan, congrats, Harry Kane, for 200. The trophy cabinet is still empty, but congrats on 200. There was a rumour I saw a couple of days ago in a suggestion that Harry Kane, if you want to save your career, mate, look, Chelsea need a striker. If you really want to come in and, do the business, you don't need to get 200 at Chelsea now. Just get a few and you might end up with a trophy. That's up to you, though. If you want to do that, you can. The offer's there. Anyway, we'll get into all that I have to talk about today very, very shortly, because I'm going to talk about that result and then Pep, Klopp, and Chelsea. We'll come to that very, very shortly. Before I do, don't forget, links are in the description. Hit me up on my socials, Twitter and Instagram. If you haven't known already and you live in a cave, I'm back on Twitter, so make sure you hit that link. And Instagram, you can follow me on there as well for all the day-to-day happenings away from YouTube. So links are in the description. Enjoy. Let's get cracking. As I've said, Tottenham 1-0 win against Manchester City. And it just, I thought, you know what? It'd be a good Sunday conversation, right? It's Sunday. It's relaxed. It's a day where you can look at your life in hindsight, right? You can look, you can look at your experiences. You can look at the circumstances. You can look at the environment around you. You can look at what's happening around you. And you can take a step back and you can analyze, evaluate, think. And I see Man City losing. And I look back and I think, Klopp, Liverpool, and the fact that they lost, the manner that they lost, different circumstances, I have to be honest. I think if I'm going to spend 1 minute very quickly on what I think's gone wrong at both clubs, I think one similar thing is there's definitely things happening in their dressing rooms, which is definitely affecting the team. It's not necessarily a tactical thing or it's on the pitch. This player didn't do what he was supposed to do here. Therefore, this was a consequence. No. I think both clubs have things happening off the pitch, within the dressing room, at the training ground, but completely different things, right? Liverpool, very quickly, if I'm going to say, I think Liverpool have things that are similar. Again, different reason, but similar traits as to what happened to us in 15-16. Chelsea 15-16, we were champions, defending champions after having gone from day 1 to day 38 as league leaders, won the title, show up on day 1 and it just all goes wrong, right? Why? Because there were things happening within the club. At the training ground, relationships were broken down. The doctor, Jose, everything just went wrong behind the scenes, and it affects you on the pitch. Of course, if you go into an unhappy work environment, are you really going to perform at your best? No, it's normal. So there's that. Liverpool, I think very similar circumstances. I don't know if it's to do with FSG and the sale. I don't know if there's relationships that have broken down between Klopp and some people within the club. Maybe Klopp and a few players. Maybe his staff and a few players. His staff and the club. Relationships have definitely been broken, because for a team like Liverpool that haven't really changed much, except Mane's left, that's maybe a factor too. But you think that at the beginning, when you look at Liverpool and you see how badly it's gone, that's not to do with Mane leaving. That's not to do with injuries. It's gone way beyond that. Relationships have broken down, 100%. So I think there's that to consider. And a solution to that, if FSG sell Liverpool, if they sell, and then, you get new owners in, can start a complete new revamp. It can build up the atmosphere once again. Or Klopp's got to go. One of the two. You're not going to change the entire squad unless if FSG and Klopp are cool and it's a relationship between Klopp and the players, and FSG are happy to back Klopp to go and transform the team once again, which leads me on to a point that I'm going to come to very shortly. With Pep and Manchester City, it's weird because I don't think anything's gone wrong at club level. Pep is very well protected and Pep is very well respected, and that, Pep's always given what he wants. So there's not that. But Pep and some players, it's clear. Cancelo, we're seeing De Bruyne has fallen off a cliff. Bernardo Silva looks a shadow of what he once was. Pep and some of the players, maybe. That's what it's looking like there. So there's that. But the common denominator is for two coaches like Klopp and Pep that have been in their jobs for this long, and it's breaking down anyway. Which leads me to something that Erik ten Hag said not long ago. As he got the Manchester United job and accepted it, he had this to say. And this is where I wanted to talk about Chelsea. So, here it is. Erik ten Hag on Guardiola and Klopp, he said this back in May after accepting the Man United job. I admire them both. They play fantastic football. Eras come to an end. Can era come to an end before they leave? I think so, yes. This is where I was thinking about everything, right? I like I said earlier in the video, it's Sunday. You take a step back, you analyse, you evaluate, you think about life, right? I look at Chelsea, I see what Chelsea are trying to do. I look at Arsenal and where they are and what they're trying to do. I look at City and I look at Liverpool for the different reasons that they're in the situations they're in, but I look at them and I see what not what they're trying to do, but what's happening. And then I want to ask the ultimate question. Because I look back at Chelsea and I think, okay, it's clear that we're looking long term. And I'm not against that. As I've said, it's very, very smart to try and think about building something that's going to be sustainable and keep you at the top level, even if you're not winning week in, week out, but keep you at the top level, right? But is it a fantasy to expect that you can go through a process, right? Come out at the other end, show a bit of success and think, I've made it, and then just expect to stay there because you went through a process. Is that fantasy or reality? That's when I started thinking. And I was like, this would be a good debate, a good topic to talk about on a video so you guys can get in the comments and share all your opinions and what you think. Because I look back at what is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to try and be successful. The ultimate goal is to win and to be consistent with that. You don't want to win once and then fall off, right? You want to be consistent. As I've said yesterday and in prior videos, you want to not just win, but you want to always be in the conversation. We're talking about top tier teams here, top clubs. Your Cities, your Liverpools, Chelseas, Uniteds, Arsenals. I'm not going to put Spurs because Spurs don't win anything. So we can leave them as the secondary class below us. Because that's just the truth. I'm sorry, they don't win anything. So we can't put them in that conversation. Arsenal at least do win a cup from time to time. And now they're on their way to a league title. So I guess we can include them. But they're very fundamental as to why I'm having this debate in the first place. Because Arsenal have a part to play. But the ultimate aim is to win. Ultimate aim is to be successful, and as I've said, you're always in that conversation. Even if you do finish second or third or second, and you're there. You don't go below that. Fair enough, right? Then I started looking. The last 7 years where Klopp took his job at Liverpool, Pep took his job at City 6 years ago, but within that 7-year time frame, Arsenal and their process, and Chelsea and what we've accomplished, despite, changing managers every week. And that came to a little consensus, and I want to share it with you. Let's look at it team by team, right? Let's look at it team by team. Check this out. This is Manchester City under Pep. You look at within the last 7 years, and you see that they've won 4 league titles, and fair play to them. 4 league titles is a mad accomplishment. Finished second in the year that Liverpool won the title as well. They've won the FA Cup once. They have won the League Cup on numerous occasions, so fair play to Manchester City on that, because the League Cup basically became theirs. They managed to get 4 in that time frame. Actually, you could even say 5 if we're going to count 2015-16, but anyway, let's say the last 7 years. They've managed to get 4. No European trophy, despite finishing runners-up when Chelsea won it. right? So that's something to take into consideration. Pep has been quite successful in those 7 years. But now Manchester City look like they're hitting all sorts of roadblocks. They're nowhere near the way that they were looking, and there could be reasons for that, even on the pitch. But anyway, City have dropped compared to how they've been playing the last 7 years. Let's look at Liverpool. What have they accomplished in the last 7? They've managed to win the league once, right? They've managed to win the FA Cup once. They've managed to win the League Cup once. They've managed to win the Champions League once. They've also managed to win the Super Cup once, and they've won the Club World Cup once. So they've gone around and done everything once and thought, okay, we're done now. We've had a taste of everything. We're leaving the buffet. And now Klopp is looking like he could be on the brink of getting sacked. So that's what Liverpool have done. Now let's look at Chelsea, right? Actually, shall we look at Arsenal before that? Arsenal, who have been under numerous managers as well. Arteta didn't take, too long in order to impose what he wanted to impose, 3 years or so. But if we get to Arsenal, let's get to Arsenal and see what they've managed to do as well. So the last 7 years, Arsenal, the last 7 years, there's been no league title, right? But there's been 2 FA Cups, so fair play to them for that. 2 FA Cups. They've won a Community Shield, and that's it. One of those FA Cups being under Arteta, so fair play to Arteta for that. But that's it, right? And now they're on the way to winning a league title. Chelsea, despite not being long-term at all, Chelsea not being, having someone in place to think about the next 7 years, or until now, which is clear what we're trying to do. But this is what Chelsea have done. Chelsea in the last 7 years, well, we did win 1 Premier League title under Antonio Conte, so that's something. We did win 1 FA Cup, so that's something. We haven't won any League Cup. The last one was Jose Mourinho's time, so that's gone past the 7 years. We can't count that. But we did win a Champions League. We won a Europa League. We won a Super Cup. And we've won a Club World Cup in that time, despite all of those trophies being shared amongst, Conte, Sarri, Lampard didn't win anything, Tuchel. So, but you have to count Lamps because he was one of the managers in that time frame that we managed to win from Conte to Tuchel. 4 managers. We've done basically what Liverpool have done under 1 manager. So, and some people are going to say, yeah, but look at Chelsea now. We're sitting 10th. I have to say, and I have to defend Chelsea here, we got sanctioned. If it wasn't for that, Roman Abramovich would still be here right now. And chances are Tuchel would still be here right now. And we'd just be continuing with what we were doing prior. Nothing would have changed, right? So you have to bear that into consideration. Who knows where we would be in the table right now? Who knows what the team would look like? Because the team wouldn't look the same either. If the sanctions didn't come in, nothing would have changed. We wouldn't have got a new owner. We wouldn't have been, we wouldn't have had the suffering that we had to go through when Thomas Tuchel had to do what he had to do when Roman was getting sanctioned, and we had our bank accounts closed and the mega store was shut and all of that was happening. Like, Chelsea got affected as an entire football club. That's something to bear in mind, right? That is a knock-on effect to what we're seeing now. New owners and instability and everything, right? Fair enough. That's why we're in the situation we're in now. We've not been playing good football, but you have to take that in mind. So when you look at what Chelsea have done the last 7 years, we haven't done anything long-term, but we've been just as successful as Liverpool have, you could say. So you have to go back to what Ten Hag was saying. Do eras come to an end? Is there much point in the modern day right now to start thinking, we're going to try and get the next Alex Ferguson regen or the next Arsene Wenger regen? We're going to try and get someone in who's going to lead us for the next 7 years. Is that realistic? You can try and get someone in that you think will be long-term, but the chances are they going to make it? Because when you look at a Klopp and you look at a Pep, 2 of the best managers in world football, 2 managers that I would take instantly. If Klopp became available tomorrow, I'd be asking questions, right? But even I would have the realistic mindset of, there's going to come a day where, it might end. It might end. So we have to bear that into context. So I want to leave the question with you. Do you think it's wise to look and think long term. When it comes to management with players, it can be different because players normally do tend to last longer. You're looking to get a player at 18 years old, he's going to retire at 35, right? Chances are. So you have to bear that in mind because a player can remain at a club for a massive or longer time, and that can still happen in today's game. But managers, with the way that the game is, with the money involved, with the results expectation, with the circumstances, with the pressure, is it realistic? As I've said, I truly don't believe we're going to see another Alex Ferguson again or an Arsene Wenger again, because they come from eras where there wasn't much money involved or there wasn't much pressure. It was kind of a thing of, yeah, we go again next week. That's not the mindset and that's not the expectation now. Why? Because I truly believe there is so much money on the line that you can't afford to just go, yeah, we'll go again next week. The game's changed. And this is the prime reason why I want to ask you the question, do you believe it's fantasy or reality to think that we can look and try and build for the next 5-6 years? You look at Arsenal, and they're on their way to one league title now, but look at the process that they had to go through to get there. Whereas with us, what would normally happen is, yeah, boom, within 1-2 years, chances are we're fighting for some sort of title. But Arsenal are going to go through all of that, and fair play, because that's their call, but they've gone through all of that, and now they are on the brink of getting to that league title. But who's to say they're going to sustain it next year? Who's to say that other teams won't catch up and beat them to it next year? It's a risk. It's a risk. So what way would you go? What is the realistic way? What way is the fantasy way? Let me know down below. I'd love to see whether you think the modern game can include thinking long term anymore like you could 15, 20 years ago. Whereas now, everything is looking short term despite people's willingness and people's urge to try and attempt to go long term. But is that realistic? Let me know down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new video. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification button to be notified once I've uploaded. Leave your opinions in the comment section below and I will have a look. And I will see all of you tomorrow, people. Social media links in the description. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care and peace.